Imagine being responsible for saving thousands of lives. Not with weapons, not with armies, but with letters, fake identities, and a powerful imagination. This is the story of Juan Pujol García, the man who fooled the Nazis, manipulated Hitler himself, and helped win World War II. He wasn't a soldier. He wasn't even trained as a spy. He was just a man who hated fascism and decided to do something about it. Juan Pujol was born in Barcelona in 1912, during a time when Europe was constantly shifting between chaos and revolution. As a child, he witnessed the brutality of dictatorship and civil war. He saw how politics could divide friends, families, and entire countries. He didn't choose a side in the Spanish Civil War. He refused to fight for Franco's fascist forces. He also refused to support the communists. He simply believed in freedom and in peace. When World War II began, Juan saw the rise of something far worse than anything Spain had ever experienced. Hitler's Germany was spreading across Europe like a disease. Juan couldn't stay silent. He offered his help to the British. He told them he wanted to be a spy, but British intelligence didn't take him seriously. Why would they trust a Spanish chicken farmer with no military experience? They rejected him 3 times. But Juan was not someone who gave up easily. He decided he would become a spy on his own. He approached the German embassy in Madrid and pretended to be a Nazi supporter. He told them he had connections in Britain, that he could send them valuable information. They believed him. They gave him a code name, Arabelle. They gave him money, and they gave him complete trust. But here's the catch. Juan had never even set foot in Britain. Every single report he sent to the Nazis was a lie. He built an entirely fake spy network with 27 imaginary agents across the UK. He invented names, backstories, job titles, even fake letters and signatures. He made it all seem real, and the Germans bought every word of it. His lies weren't random. He carefully added believable details. He made small mistakes in his reports, on purpose, so that when the Nazis corrected him, they felt even more confident that he was real. They even paid him more to expand his network. All the while, not a single one of his agents actually existed. Eventually, British intelligence noticed that someone was feeding the Germans misinformation. Very clever misinformation. They tracked it to Juan, and instead of arresting him, they invited him to London. There he became an official agent of MI5. They gave him a new code name, Garbo. And from that moment, Juan became one of the most valuable double agents in the entire war. What came next was perhaps the most important intelligence operation in modern history, Operation Fortitude. In 1944, the Allies were preparing for the biggest military invasion of the war, D-Day. They would land on the beaches of Normandy and begin the liberation of Western Europe. But if Hitler discovered their plan, it would be a massacre. So they needed to distract him. And Juan Pujol was the key. Through a series of messages to his German handlers, Juan convinced Hitler that the D-Day invasion would come at Pas de Calais, not Normandy. He described fake military divisions, invented troop movements, and even provided false weather data. His lies worked. Even after the Normandy landings began, Hitler believed it was a trap. He refused to send reinforcements to Normandy for 7 crucial weeks. This allowed the Allies to establish a foothold in France and eventually push the Nazis back toward Germany. Because of Juan Pujol, the invasion succeeded. Because of his imagination, his courage, and his lies, the war was shortened and countless lives were saved. But Juan's story didn't end there. After the war, he knew the Nazis might come looking for revenge. So with help from British intelligence, he faked his own death. Official records claimed he died of malaria in Angola. In reality, he moved to Venezuela and lived under a new identity. For decades, no one knew where he was. Not even his own children knew the full truth. It wasn't until the 1980s that a British historian tracked him down. He had been running a bookstore in Caracas, living in total secrecy. When the world learned he was alive, he was finally honored as the hero he truly was. He died in 1988. But his legacy lives on, as a reminder that sometimes the pen truly is mightier than the sword.